Week 4.
Yes, it is the best teams in the NFL. Week 4, Max, as you mentioned. And these are the odds to win it all. So I got, I move things around. Sometimes it's 3 teams. Sometimes it's 8, 10, 9, 5. It may even be all 32 at some point in time. But in week 4, I got 9 teams. And you'll be happy about this. And you'll be smiling. And Jay will have a smile from ear to ear. Because sitting at number 9, I have the New York Giants. A 3-1 football team. They are plus 8,000 to win it all. Look, this is the first appearance in my real ranking since I started this show for the New York Giants. But look, Saquon Barkley is certainly carrying this football team. He is doing the most of it. If I'm the New York Giants, I'm paying him, and I'm paying him in a big way, and I'm going to build the team around him into next season.
Number 8.
Number 8 are the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are plus 2,200, sitting at 2-2. A lot of people, including myself, looked at this season very bleak for them, starting off 0-2. But since then, they have rebounded in a significant way. Joe Burrow and company have certainly come to the party and starting to play. They're not just going to surrender the AFC North.
Number 7.
Number 7, and I know many people look at this situation at number 7, and I got the Baltimore Ravens, but they're still at plus 1,500. They're sitting at 2-2, and last week against the Buffalo Bills, it was bad weather. Lamar Jackson didn't make the play at the end of the game. I don't necessarily disagree with Coach Harbaugh going for it, but also at the same time, I probably would have taken the points. You can't tell me that people aren't afraid to line up and play the Baltimore Ravens moving forward.
Number 6.
Number 6 are the San Francisco 49ers at plus 1,800. Sitting at 2-2, we had a chance to watch them on Monday Night Football. That defense lights out. Pick 6 there by Matthew Stafford and company, giving it to the San Francisco 49ers. All Jimmy G does is win football games. I don't care about his overall statistics. I'm looking for a pedestrian quarterback that does not turn the football over. In the INT category, as long as I walk away from the game with a W and no zeros in the INT category, we're probably going to win the game.
Number 5.
Number 5, the Fighting Rushes, the Dallas Cowboys, plus 2,500, 3-1. They took care of business, and their best win this year probably is against the Cincinnati Bengals, but they took care of business against the Washington Commanders this past weekend, sitting at 3-1 with Cooper Rush, not Cooper Kupp at quarterback. Dak Prescott, he wants to come back. The team hasn't said he's ready to come back yet, but I think he certainly is feeling the heat.
Number 4.
The Green Bay Packers, plus 1,000 at number 4 to win it all. That is to win it all, plus 1,000. They're sitting at 3-1. Probably an argument can be made for the best quarterback in the National Football League with this talent or that talent, depending on who you're asking. Some people love it, some people don't. New England Patriots took him into the overtime, but he figured out how to get it done. It wouldn't have went deep into overtime if Romeo Doubs could have squeezed it and came down with it. It didn't happen. They still got it there with a W on Mason Crosby's field goal.
Number 3.
The Buffalo Bills sitting at number 3. They are plus 400 to win it all. Now, look, when you look at the Buffalo Bills, it's America's team at the beginning of the season. Everybody loved Josh Allen. Josh Allen is MVP that. Oh, my God, he reminds me of a bigger Lamar Jackson. He certainly can do it all. He can slice and dice. In the second half of that game against the Ravens, he certainly showed why he is an MVP candidate in this year's NFL season. They're sitting at 3-1. They are plus 400.
Number 2.
Number 2, James loves this, but he may not love it because they're number 2 and not number 1. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Eric Bieniemy-led offense, pushing things along. See, Eric Bieniemy dials all sorts of things up. He pulls the string. He makes Patrick Mahomes turn, twist, do all sorts of things, throws the football, flips. That's all on Eric Bieniemy calling the plays. Plus 700 to win it all, sitting at 3-1.
Number 1.
And the number 1 team in all of the National Football League are the Philadelphia Eagles, plus 750 to win it all with the young Jalen Hurts. Hey, Howie Roseman, what do you want to do with those picks? You want to go get C.J. Stroud? You want to package them up and go get some other quarterback? You want to get Hooker from Tennessee? I don't think so. I think you found your man. The best thing to do with those picks right now, Philadelphia Eagle fans, is try to figure out how to build this team. Also try to figure out how not to get into the $400 million category next offseason with Jalen Hurts, as he potentially could lead you to a Super Bowl and it costs you a boatload of money. So that is my top 9 picks, fellas. Tell me what you think.
I'm not mad at
it.
I like the list. I got to tell you, if I had to change anything, I'd probably move San Francisco up ahead of Dallas now that Jimmy G is in, because they just consistently make the Cowboys fall flat in the playoffs year in and year out. They got a better coach in San Francisco.
Jay, Max. Yeah. This isn't the playoffs. This is week 4.
Regular
season.
Yeah, you know what threw me? It's the Super Bowl odds that threw me. Right. It's still we're talking about what they look like so far.
No, it's odds to win it all.
To win it all, right.
Yeah,
so, but
right
that's
now,
not the list.
Today.
In other words, you're listing, there are 2 separate things going on here. You're listing 1 through 9, what teams have done so far.
Well,
and on the other hand, we're giving odds for the Super Bowl.
If the season ended today, here's the odds to win it all. If it ended today. Right. Now, next week, you know, the odds have changed. You know how these things go. Somebody's ankle gets twisted in practice, the odds drop. The New Orleans Saints odds were higher a couple weeks ago. Well, guess what? Their odds aren't so good right now.
Guys, let's bring in Mike Tannenbaum here, who's champing at the bit, or ESPN NFL front office insider, to react to Key's rankings.
Champing at the bit.
It's an interesting list, except for the team that's going to the Super Bowl for the NFC. It's not even in the top 9. Key's former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the key number that we're not talking about is 27. That's the number of snaps this year that Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, and Mike Evans have actually been on the field together. 27 snaps. So when we talk about who can get better and who could ascend into Key's top 9 and eventually represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles has a really good defense. They got torched the other night, but Patrick Mahomes is going to do that to a lot of teams. But I think when it's all said and done, that Buccaneer offense is going to come around with a good defense, and I think they go to the Super Bowl.
I love it, Mike. I don't disagree with you at all, really, about getting better in the future, not having your playmakers. But that's 2 weeks in a row, right? They got Chris Godwin back. They got Mike Evans back. They got Julio Jones back. And they still got blitzed, right? They still got torched. Tom Brady looked like a shell of himself. He certainly looked like somebody that Max made poke fun of several years ago. He did not look the same. And so I think they'll get better, but as of right now, as we stand today, through 4 games in the National Football League, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can't crack the lineup.
One thing I just like to follow up, guys, is they remind me a little bit of the Peyton Manning Denver Bronco teams in terms of, like, that team was carried by Von Miller, and Peyton Manning, because of the brand name, got a lot of credit more than he deserved. And I feel like that could be this team.
He's got a lot more left than Peyton did at the time, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think with Leonard Fournette, I think, you know, when there's so many other question marks of the NFC teams, I think, like, where we are today, first week in October, and we try to project into December, I think this is a team that has the high ceiling.
Can you make that same case with Green Bay? Because their defense hasn't been the best it's been, right? It's still getting better, and obviously some of those wide receivers are working on their relationship with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm so mad at Aaron Rodgers, though. I think he's so disingenuous. He comes out after the game and says, we got to get better fast. Well, where were you in May and June? You're the leader of the franchise. You're the CEO. You're the highest paid employee. You're the most important guy in the franchise, and you can't find your time to get to Green Bay in May and June, pick Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson up from the airport, find out how they learn, find out if they have any allergies, find out how you can serve them.
Like peanut allergies.
Hey, my son has a gluten allergy.
Hey, Mike.
You don't like, but you know what I mean, Key? Like, the best
No,
quarterback.
I get what you're saying, Mike. I understand it. I get it. But the league has changed, man. This ain't the league from 6 years ago when you was in it.
Yeah, Key, I get
changed.
that. I get that, but then don't complain publicly that they don't know what to do. Like, I'm with you. Like, if you want to go on your retreats and cleansing, great. You go do you. I'm good with that, Key. To each their own. I'm good with that. But, hey, one guy we know really well is Bill Parcells. And I'm just telling you for our listeners, go Google the 10 commandments of a quarterback. And number 1 is you're a battlefield commander. When things go wrong, it's always your fault. When things go right, you give out praise.
But in all fairness to Aaron Rodgers, he did put some of it on himself. Okay, and he's not pointing out just the